Week 20 of games reminded us how special Sfiso Nurondibane still is, leading Tabankulu Colours to their 10th win of the season, seeing they are still enjoying milk and honey in the promised land. Elsewhere, there were big wins for leaders Mbabane Highlanders, Royal Leopards and Young Buffaloes. As it should be, true football fans, ultras as we call them, showed hand this past weekend, braving the cold weather to support their teams. First on the cards, football fans were treated to midweek action with Royal Leopard, who are playing catch-up, rounded up match week 19. Arguably one of the interesting matchups in the MTN Premier League. In their last meeting back in January, they played to an entertaining 2-draw. One thing that was definite, we were going to see goals, and goals we saw. Within the first 10 minutes, the Cape Town Musim Zora Dlamini pressed for an early advantage and were well rewarded from a set-piece position. Mzoro was leading from the front, refusing to remove his knee from Vovovo's neck, claiming his second of the match. Shortly after that, Dlamini ran at the Vovovo defense and had an easy tap-in from close range, 3-0 to the reigning champions. Vovovo was struggling to contain the visitors and Mzoro was causing all sorts of problems up front. He was not to be denied his third on the day. The hosts were handed a lifeline as Manga Masangane made no mistake from the spot kick to reduce the score margin. Vovovo's defense tactics were non-existent on the day and they were caught napping again, Mzoro netting his fourth. Leopard were proving too strong for the host Thokozani, Dlamini netting the team sixth with Tabiso Mokokwane assisting again. That's how the match will end, Leopard claiming all 3 points. Milling Hotspur, who are not far from the relegation zone, were out to end their 4-match winless run when they hosted Moneni Pirates at the Mavuso Sports Centre. Timbawula last tasted victory back in February against Manzini Wanderers. With just 3 points separating the two, both teams know the task at hand if they are to see Premier League football next season. Pirates settled in first and enjoyed a great ball position in the opening stages of the match. Despite that, it was Milling who got the first real chance at goal, one that flew over the bar. Milling were wasteful in front of goal, missing yet another chance. The host missed a glorious chance to go ahead. Bongmenzi Dlamini's shot way too soft and Lwazi Bembe's rebound blocked by the defense. Pirates' penalty appeal fell on deaf ears as the referee waved play on after Sibonelo Smelane was fouled by Ngamiso Tfala. Lwazi Mamba came close for the visitors, but the only net he could find was the side net. It was the host who took the lead halfway through the half, courtesy of Ndumiso Dlamini. Jose Machado almost benefited from a ball scrambled inside the box, his attempt saved by the keeper. Bekisisa Dlamini was called to action in the closing stages to what would be the last save of the half. The Buccaneers came out of the dressing room more aggressive, but a goal proved elusive with Mpumuzo Sangweni's shot saved by the keeper. Sangweni, turning the provider this time around, played a quick 1-2 with Moneni Makakula, but Makakula shot wide of the goal. Kulegani Khoza almost doubled the host lead, but it wasn't to be. Pirates were not sitting back in search of an equalizer, a couple of long-range shots that were not threatening. One could sense tension on the field as Pirates continued throwing numbers up front in search of an equalizer. Makakula's attempt ruled as a foul on the keeper. Pirates players clearly wanted the ball to touch the back of the net, even if the ball was off play, a move that wasn't working out too well. It was clear to see that it wasn't their day. That's how the match will end, with Milling taking all 3 points to move further up the log.
You are right. It's not a performance where maybe one can blame it to the weather, I don't know, but we didn't play well. I was not happy, more especially in the first half, where we were allowing them so much space and they ended up punishing us. But you know, in football, you don't count the missed chances. You always count those that you have taken. But you know, one lesson we can take from this game is that, you know, my players, they tried their best. I think going to the drawing board, I think we'll work on our finishing. Even our triangles today, they were a bit not okay, but you know, we tried, more especially in the second half. I think we had a decent performance. Hard luck to the fans that came to support us on a chilly Sunday, but you know what? I can only ask them to support the boys going forward.
Yeah, ngicabanga ukuthi sikhonile kubabamba because siyathi ukuthi badlala ibhola kanjani, and then we tried ukuthi sidlale the opposite. Siyathi ukuthi bathi ngathi nombolo ukuze bakhone ku interchange ama passes, so sine sitayisusa la sikhona khona sibakhethe ngama counter, hence le goal sithole against the run of play.
Slowly proving why you can never count Amatole out as contenders, having scored 14 goals in their last 4 outings. The home team were eyeing the second spot when they hosted Dinyosi at the Mavusa Sports Center. Their last outing proved how quick the hunter can become the hunted. Amatole were the quickest of the block in an attempt to unsettle the visitors. Amatole were free-flowing up front, with the keeper Segelo the busiest of the two. An early goal was definitely something they wanted, and it's what they got courtesy of Sfiso Mazibugo. Mpendulo Dlamini almost extended Buffalo's lead, his shot over the bar. Mazibugo's shot was met by an unmarked Mbongwa Matabula, who made no mistake netting Amatole's second. The hosts were running through Dinyos's defense like a hot knife on butter. Their third denied by the referee, calling it a foul on Peter Nyirenda by Sandile Kametse. Ali Mate put some distance between the two sides, extending the host lead. Amatole were in tune, singing from the same hymn book, Matabula putting the match beyond Dinyos's reach. Amatole were caught napping and were almost punished by Calvin Debele. Dinyosi got a chance to restore hope after referee Letitia pointed to the spot. Stephen Malulega stepped up, netting the visitors first. Amatole held on to take a 4-1 win as they maintain their top 3 spot at the top with 42 points.
Sidlale kahle because indlela lesilungisele ngayo lesilungiso sesitawuchama emaceleni cabanga siwabonile ama-chances incombile siwakhile esichawe emaceleni so learning ukuthi siyade ukuthi Tinyosi indlela edlale ngayo kuma-previous games noma nazidlala nani livame ukuphekha lambe kwaleli bhalo so sibona singona sikheke leli bonza lapho sichama emaceleni hlanhla yethu leyo sitile ukuchama emaceleni cishe onke amagoli esiwakhorile sichama emasayidini.
I'm not allowed to speak refereeing. The prosecutor uyati gadzile nangikhuluma, so I'll say nothing. You're watching the game yourself. I'm happy. We finally managed to score. I mean, against a top team like Buffalo's 9 men for something like 70 minutes. Yeah, it's okay. We're going to take the positives and look forward to the next game. There is no need to kukhala nyalo kwende again. Finally, games.
Being in an unfamiliar territory may compromise your chances to survive, but it also can prove how lethal you can be when cornered. Tabankulu Kellis were up for that test when they faced an unpredictable Green Mamba at the Prince of Wales Stadium on Saturday afternoon. It's been rather a tough season for Inyoka El Hlazana, having been able to accumulate 24 points in 19 matches. In the opening stages of the match, Mbutho Dlamini forced Nganawe Dladla into action as Green Mamba pressed for the advantage. Wenzoguhle Khumalo came close for the host, but his header was off the mark. Nyowane Mboma almost broke the deadlock. Unfortunately for him, Mtunzi Mkonvo was well positioned. Deep in the half, Thokozani Mkhulisi was the busiest of the two keepers, blocking off Mazus Longonyane's power shot. Vusi Mavuso scored a cracker from a set-piece position to give Kellis a much-deserved lead. Mxolisi Mkonvo restored order with a well-prosecuted grass shot, knitting Green Mamba's first to level matters. A solo effort from Mxolisi Manana was not enough to beat the keeper. Khumalo was getting all the chances. His soft kick is safely collected by the keeper. Soon after, Green Mamba were punished courtesy of Mazwi Sihlongonyane. Inyoka El Hlazana pushed forward in search of an equalizer, but a goal wasn't forthcoming. 2 shots in a space of a minute, with the visitors failing to find a decisive touch outside the box. From a dead ball situation, a substitute Nelly Somieni forced a save from the keeper. Nuro and the boys held on to take all 3 points.
Yeah, but kukahle kudlala nama-team lanjabo green mamba lamakhulu because you know the players, you know the strengths and weaknesses, and you know their structure. We've been working on that at Jimeni, and kwavele kwaphuma kwabanjalo. And I'm happy with the new signings. We have strengthened the team. That Gabonian striker, very good up front, ever busy. In the midfield, very good young boy, Ayanda. And we were keeping the shape. We were respecting them. And our transition was very much dangerous and quick. We could have scored even more goals. So I'm happy with the setup. But there are a few lapses on my defense that I have to work on because they still do unnecessary mistakes. We need to put this one piece of at the back.
They created half chances in most cases, but they used them frequently. Baba negated 3 points, 3 goals.
Having lost to 2, won 2 and drawn 1, Denver Sundowns were hoping to turn the corner and build on their 1-0 victory against Moneni Wanderers when they visited Mbabane Highlanders at the Galanga Technical Centre. Denver will be desperate to extend the gap between themselves and the bottom 4 with just 6 points separating them and the relegation zone. On a good day, such a tie with both teams switched on, it can produce exciting stuff on the pitch. Mbabane Highlanders dominated proceedings from the start and could have taken the lead through Tony Machacha. Spamandla Masego was wasteful from a set-piece position. An even better attempt from Mike Dombo, forcing a save from Kanyagweze Shabalala. Muloto lashed on a loose ball halfway through the half as the score remained goalless. Lindaguhle Fagutsa almost produced the goods for the host with his shot just off the mark. Highlanders were getting chance after chance. Scully's run through saved by the keeper. David Mulekuli also got in on the act, his shot way off the target. Pilani Mkodvo did all the spade work with Scully passing to the net, 1-0 to Inkunze Mnyama. Mkonvo continued to whip in great crosses, Muloto failing to capitalize on them. That's how the half will end, with Mbabane Highlanders taking a narrow 1-0 lead. At the restart of the second half, Muloto made up for all the missed chances, netting Highlanders second. The visitors had chances of their own, but luck wasn't on their side on the day. After doing everything right, Dombo's final touch was his only letdown. Sundowns continued piling pressure on the host, Masego and Manana combining well up front. Mbabane Highlanders held on to collect all 3 points, as it should be if they are to keep their dream of securing the championship, a title that has eluded them in the past 21 years.
It's another game of football. 3 points, we can take it. Remember, we have to try to be there, especially now, because it's getting tighter. We dropped points last week. I will take this one. The performance was good, the energy was good. Maybe it's because of the weather, but we gave everything. We deserve 3 points in this game.
Yeah, it was a very interesting game. Unfortunately, we failed to manage the moments of the game, and if you look at it, we conceded the first goal in the last minute of the 45 minutes of the first half. And the second goal came in around 5 minutes of the second half. So that shows how tactical the game was. And we know where we are. Ours is work in progress. We're trying to build a team. And slowly we'll get there. But this is a game that I feel sorry for the boys after putting so much work and losing 2-0. It doesn't really show how much work the boys put in because of the scoreline, but we'll come right.
And now for the rest of your results, there were wins for Milling, Vovovo FC and Moneni Wanderers. Babane Highlanders are still enjoying being at the top with just a point separating them and second place the Leopards. There were no major changes in the MTN Premier League log. The bottom still sees Tambuti, Tinyosi and Malanti fighting for survival with just under 10 games remaining this season. The next stop for the teams will be the top of the log clash to what we call the Big Dog Clash, when Babane Swallows will play Royal Leopard and Babane Highlanders are up against a red-hot Young Buffaloes to what might be the major game changer in the title chase.